special topics, and we'll be talking about crypto pay in, crypto the merge on the VeVe app, and Apple issues. All right, the gas fees. Apple's trying to collect those issues. We're going to get into all of those topics today. We have Chris, crypto and coffee, or is that? I don't know. You changed your name about 1,000 times, but I have
Yeah,
you
man, it's all
tagged.
good.
I have you tagged in the description and in the title. So if you want to go follow Chris, you can. But yeah, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. And yeah, just Chris, man, or just Chris Coffee. But I'm great. I already got my coffee this morning, and ready to roll.
Let's go. I got my Native American artwork mug going on.
Mm,
It's very got a lot of pinks in there, you know.
nice, dude. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So crypto pay in, that's kind of the news. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's kind of excited about it. What's your thoughts on that? Like, I see beta testers. Reese mentioned, I guess, apparently in the VV Telegram or the Ecomi Telegram rather. And obviously, we've been waiting for this for a long time. But considering it is kind of the bear market, do you see it affecting the market in general on the VV app? Do you think there's going to be a bump? Also, this is going to tie into what we're going to talk about here in just a little bit as well with the merge on the back end.
Sure. It's kind of hard to say right now because of the macro scale. I'm not too sure how many people want to use their losses or them being down to buy gyms, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of people probably already converted into stables. I feel like we're going to see a bigger impact on crypto pay in once crypto rebounds. Like, people that bought ETH at 2K or 3K or 4K, I don't see them wanting to buy gyms with their $1,300 ETH, you know?
Hmm.
But once ETH goes back up to 4K, 6K, whatever, they'll have more liquidity that they're sitting on, and I see them more likely to spend it on there. You know, these ETH
Hmm.
wells that we're talking about in January of last year, they're not really wells anymore. I mean, they kind of are, you know, at larger scales, but like 100 ETH or even 50 ETH went a lot further than it does now. So yeah, I think right now with this dropping December, macro not looking so good, I don't think we're gonna see a big enough impact on the market, honestly. But I don't know,
Yeah, for
maybe that's a
sure.
little bearish.
I just threw up a poll. Yo, shout out to SoCal Omi Homie. What's going on? We got Jeff in the
Yeah, man.
house. We also
Heck
have
yeah.
All Chat Gaming, a couple of members, Justin as well. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you for being YouTube members. Slider, what's going on? And good morning. I meant, yeah. Good morning. And good night, good evening to everybody across the world. We always have people tuning in from all over. So, but yeah, we forgot to get about your coffee, man. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
was on a call with you yesterday, and you're like roasting the beans like live. We were doing a
Yeah.
FaceTime. Tell us about your coffee real quick before we kind of get like super deep into the topics and into the weeds.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely need to get you a bag. I actually have one with me right now. So like I wanted to share my screen, but being as we're trying this new thing, it's just on the phone obviously. But I roast, you know, my own coffee, of course. It's called Henning Grounds. I have like a ton of stuff on that. But right now I want to talk about what your viewers could do. This tweet is from last week. I was supposed to pick a winner already. I'm gonna pick it at the end of this live. But basically, I usually just drink like black coffee, double shot espresso, cold brew. But when I like to get fancy, you know, and get something a little sweeter, I kind of go crazy with it. So I made this last week, and I got people to guess the ingredients in it, and whoever's closest is going to win a bag of coffee. As long as they're in the United States, like I'll ship it to them. I'll pay shipping and everything. So if they haven't already commented on that, it's not like a like, retweet, share. It's not anything like that. It's literally just a fun like guess the ingredients of this coffee. I think I also have it on my YouTube community tab, like when you like post like community post. I'll also have it on there if people want to get to it via YouTube instead of going to Twitter. Just guess the ingredients, and at the end of it, I'm going to officially pick whoever is closest and ship a bag of coffee to.
Yeah, when does it end? And
Oh,
like how long do they have to enter?
yeah, it ends at the end of this video because I should have already picked it, but I got super sick on my way to Miami Art Basel for the NFT conference last week. So it should have already been picked. I'm sorry to those who already answered. But you know, it is what it is. It's a free giveaway. It's not like an engagement farming thing. Like I literally don't care if people share this or not. It was just a fun little thing that I wanted to do. I'm
Very
also
cool.
running a deal on my website. Type in
All
code
right, no,
VV
no,
at
no.
checkout.
That's no. That's
Oh,
enough
what?
shilling, bro. Enough shilling.
All
People
right,
came here for the apple and the
bro.
merge.
It was VV, man. It was
We'll
VV.
we'll
You
get to
missed the VV alpha. Okay.
all right, we'll get to the VV Alpha in a minute.
All right, bro.
All Chat Gaming. I have to shout out All Chat Gaming too. He did $10 dono. Appreciate it, fam. Thank you so much.
He
Appreciate
did
that.
that donation because he wanted to hear about my
You
my
wanted to hear the
skill.
alpha
Yeah,
on the
man.
coffee.
You
All
you
right,
you left one
so
hanging.
yeah, crypto pay in. My thoughts on that is kind of the same sentiment. We might notice a small bump in some of the collectibles in terms of maybe like some grails, but had this been more like in the bull market, I think it would have a bigger impact. But as you mentioned, the macroeconomics of things just not doing too well. I mean, we kind of are at like a lower inflation rate. I believe I've been kind of looking at the charts, quote unquote, and tracking that a little bit, but still, like the Fed hasn't technically pivoted, so I'm not really convinced yet. And I feel that everybody in the space is just how everybody's gotten more educationally aware of how the Fed works and the pivots and all that. Like people are getting actually, smarter over time. So I don't know if this will have a big impact, but it's still exciting in terms of that feature being added to the VeVe app. I think long term, this does have a significant impact, especially the next bull run. I do believe people are going to swap out and put money into undervalued collectibles, if not beforehand as well. So we could also see maybe some ETH whales here and there. I don't think it's going to be a lot as predicted, and we're not in the bull market. So that's
Okay.
kind of my thoughts on it. Well, it's kind of a wait and see. Let's see if there's any whales that do anything here. But just what we've seen in the macro of NFT space as a whole, we haven't seen too much movement in volume and things like that. Just some projects here and there, and I feel like VeVe is going to be similar, like grails here and there, and that's about it. So
Yeah, I think this would be a good example of building in a bear market, because while it's not gonna have it might not have like a huge impact right when it releases, it could have a bigger impact in the future, you know? So like 1 year from now, if we're in another bull market and people are like complaining that nothing got done, it's like we'll be able to see, oh well, people can actually use crypto, to pay in to buy in now. And that was done and that was established in the bear market. So now it's ready to roll once another bull comes around. But yeah, as far as like short term, like maybe there's some crypto wells out there that want to like scoop some floor. So like I could see that happening, but I don't think this is gonna have a massive impact. I honestly think it would be a bearish impact if it was the other way around. I think if people could currently cash out in crypto again, with crypto being so cheap, some people might be doing that. It's tempting, like if you have gems that are stable and you've been stacking for a while, you've been holding the gems for a while, and instead of having to go through the regular buy process, you already have it, and then just switching that to ETH or switching that to a stable coin, what is it, USDT was the one with VeVe or USDC, or even Bitcoin. Like it would be very tempting if you're sitting on a lot of gems just to do that while prices are good. So
yeah.
I'm almost glad we don't have that right now. But I'm either way, no matter what, I'm just kind of sitting on my hands. Like I everything I have right now, I'm pretty much long on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they could release features more strategically around like more hype, but it seems that they don't really care. They're just in it for the long term. So it's interesting how they roll things out. Now, one thing is kind of concerning though is the merge. You mentioned that you did a video just recently on your channel about the
Yeah.
merge. So crypto pay in or whatever, kind of good, but it kind of is like negligible with the account merges for this reason. Now, could you explain to maybe new people that don't know what the merge is and how you might see it affecting the market in terms of the merged accounts?
Yeah, bro. I don't mean to call him out, but I had a great example of this. I won't say his name, but somebody on Twitter literally told me they have like 200 collectibles and comics that is on another account that they're about to get back. That they're anything that's at a profit they're selling. So like, there's a lot of people like that. Essentially, they've been sitting on their hands or not able to use these secondary accounts. And what's happening with the merge is if you have multiple accounts, whether they're all your accounts or whether they're your family's, look, I don't really care. You're going to be able to combine all those into your main KYC account. And what I think could happen, very likely to happen, is there's going to be a lot of collectibles and comics that are going to be floored during that time because people haven't really had access to sell them during these last few months, but now they do. Some people are going to be trying to meet that 1,000 gem cash out quota, and maybe they had just enough collectibles and comics to kind of get over that they're going to sell once the accounts merge. There might be some bad actors still having access to this is the part this speculation, but there could still be some bot related accounts that do have a primary KYC account and had some bot accounts that weren't restricted that are about to get access to those pretty soon. And when I say pretty soon, November 29th, which was like 6 days ago, was the announcement that in a week or two, the merges will start happening and you'll start being able to combine all your accounts. So personally, I think that it's really bearish. But also, if the silver lining here, if like somebody does want to like make this more optimistic, is people will have access to the gems in those accounts, now as well. If you're sitting on 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, whatever, you now have that again. So maybe that's more liquidity. And it'd be, if it is a fire sale, it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. If you have that one thing that you've been looking at for a while and it goes down in price, like that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Like you might have a better opportunity to buy in. It might be in better, like a more sustainable holder's hands now. So I don't know. That's
Yeah.
my opinion on it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, there's good and bad. So, what's interesting is like if they do roll this out during the bear market, um, it could have little impact to some impact, and it's kind of for me, it's like a wait and see, because it's like why sell now when we're kind of like at the very bottom? And I get the
Mhm.
the kind of theory that it could drop 50% more. Um, but it just seems to be like the case with like older bear market or bear cycles. People scoop floors pretty quick. Also, like the listings have declined, so it's going to be like for me another like let's wait and see what happens. Because as you mentioned, you made a great point. Is like people could sell, and that could be an issue if you're trying to quote unquote like spot the bottom, and try to maximize your kind of investments, if you will. By the way, this is entertainment only. This is not financial advice. And by the way, I just wanted to show you guys my Christmas lights back here that I put up in the area. And Will Goes Meta sent me these cards as well. So
Dude,
check.
I got one of those. I got one of those too, man. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, Jimbo Lee Lingo as well. Sent the
Heck yeah, man.
sweet VV logo that's in front of my other VV logo light. So shout out to all the community members out there and everybody else in chat today as well. But yeah, what were you going to mention earlier though? You said some alpha. Let's get to that before we get to the next topic.
On
You were talking about like coffee and then something, or I don't know.
Oh, it wasn't important, man. It wasn't important. You're right. It
Oh,
was just
okay.
chill. I'm on Kyle Wilson's channel. I need to respect that.
Yeah,
Not chill my coffee.
no, no, you're good. I was just doing a quick interlude.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
uh, so so we talked about crypto pan, we talked about the merge. Now Apple is releasing some kind of news out there, and I'm sure
Yeah,
viewers out there have seen this. Is Apple wants a cut of gas fees apparently? So um,
stupid, bro.
yeah, so they're kind of like I think they've already shut down the Coinbase wallet app, or they're
Hmm.
trying to shut down the Coinbase wallet app. So there's some issues there.
Yeah.
That what does this sound like to you? Is this like a boomer move on Apple's part? Do they not understand how
No,
like
it's
crypto works, or what's your thoughts on this?
yeah. I think it's a monopoly move. I think Apple's going to launch their own wallet and want to incentivize people to use their wallet so that they can get 100% of those transactions. But yeah, from firsthand, them saying that they want a portion of the gas fees, it's almost like they don't understand what a gas fee is. It's like not like like there's a transaction fee and a gas fee. Obviously, like the wallet provider gets a little bit per transaction, but ultimately you're paying that like to the blockchain. Like part of that sale goes to the blockchain because that you're paying either miners if it's if it's a proof of work, or you're paying the stakers if it's proof of stake. So it's not really like MetaMask is getting all these fees. So it's almost like lack of knowledge of like who's actually getting the money, because if they want 30% of that gas fee, then like who do they feel like they're taking it from? And that's just going to be like more money if you're trying to sell an NFT via mobile, and more money, less adoption, because let's be real, a lot of people do jump into NFTs because they want to make profit, and that's another 30% on top of your already transaction that you're paying, on top of your already like marketplace, on top of your artist fee. And so even on VeVe, it adds up. Which I'll let you tackle that topic. But the good thing about VeVe is it is on Immutable X, so 30% of an immutable transaction is pretty much nothing.
Right, as you mentioned, yeah, it's on Immutable X, and then Immutable X is a layer two. which means there's no gas fees whatsoever for Apple to collect in the first place. So I don't think this affects VeVe, which is obviously good. But as you mentioned, for other like apps and other things, like it's not necessarily good. Like crypto or a Coinbase wallet, for example, where they want even more of a cut. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. And it makes sense like that they get revenue on like the NFT sale, but then the gas fee itself is a little bit odd.
Yeah.
And it's something that is very monopolistic. And I think that if they keep pushing this agenda, I think it like they've already been in Congress and had to do hearings on topics like this. So if they keep this up, they're going to find themselves in a similar situation in another congressional hearing, and maybe more so. So
They
I
just
don't
want
know.
monopoly, bro. That's what I mean. They have monopoly over cell phones. You know, like I'm using an iPhone right now, and I don't even like Apple. Like I don't like Apple's like products. I don't like the way they do, they like force themselves into things, the way they do business. But I'm still using their product. So I mean, that's just
Yeah.
the way they do stuff. I have something. Another thing I like to say too is Coinbase wallet was the first, but this is going to be any mobile wallet. You know, Trust wallet, MetaMask, all the things you don't want to type in on Twitter because you'll get a ton of bots, you know, coming for you. All those wallets are next. I have this really cool piece of merch that I want to show you. That I got from Art Basel, but let me see if I can find it real quick.
Now while you're doing that,
Got it.
I do like Apple. It's just that I don't appreciate the business practices. So it's not the necessarily the hardware that I don't like. I like the hardware. I like the camera. I like the app store. It's just the business practice principles that I don't like, which Steve Jobs kind of like was the innovator, like against, big tech and against big corporation, and he brought a lot of like light into that situation. So it's kind of they've kind of gone astray from their core like where they started. So it's very
Mm.
interesting. And the old commercials was like a big example of like them breaking down the system, but now they've pretty much became a part of the system. So
Yeah,
anyways,
I
what were
agree.
we gonna?
I agree. I agree with Stoke. Well, I was showing you the MetaMask jacket, which is really cool that
Yeah.
I got from Art
Well,
Basel.
now where was that? You said
It's
art
Art
leaf or art
Art
basil,
Basel. Yeah, or
basil or
whatever. Yeah,
basil, like a
yeah.
basil leaf, or
It's
like
an NFT meetup in
art herb.
Miami, and I got this really cool MetaMask jacket for free. You know, because you
You're
get
gonna
this
get
free
spammed
merch
wearing that.
because they're getting yeah, I probably will because they're getting transaction fees right now. But when Apple monopolizes and takes that away, you won't be able to get free
So
merch anymore.
is it safe to walk down the street wearing that? Because then now people know you're a crypto bro.
Yeah, bro. I don't freaking care. You know, maybe in the bull market I was nervous, but like now it's like, what do you want, bro? You want a couple bucks? You're better off jumping somebody with cash on them.
Good point. Good point. But yeah,
No,
long
but
story short, I don't think this affects VV just from the gas fees being like there is no gas fees, and the Immutable X, the roll ups happen off app, not even on VV.
yeah,
So I just don't see this affecting VV.
it's not gonna affect Vivi. Hardly at all. I mean, like Vivi might have to change something like small, but it's not gonna be a big deal. Vivi already charges a lot for like if you factor in all the fees and the cash out, it's already above average, which like is safe at least. You know, like um I don't love how much percentages we're paying, but at the end of the day, I don't see them stacking up much more on what we're already paying. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, Vivi, they've done things pretty like in regulation to like they've always cut out for Apple and for even Google Play when like purchasing gems on mobile. That's why like they kind of incentivize desktop now. To not be able to pay those fees. I do agree with I was gonna say earlier though. SoCal said that it's hard not to use Apple out of consumer protest. Um, I agree. Like I like Apple because it's hard not to use Apple because it's so freaking convenient to be in group chats. It's fast. It integrates with other people very quickly. Connections are super quick. But like, there's nothing like outlandish about Apple that's just like wow. You know, like even when I was young, I was like jailbreaking Apple phones because of limitations they put on them. You know, so like because you couldn't do anything on them. So I don't know. And then Macs are so limited. You're a
Yeah.
MacBook guy probably. You look like a MacBook guy.
I don't have. I actually have a Windows computer. Thank you very
Oh, okay.
much.
Okay.
And I will say I built my own computer, which is down here.
Oh. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so back off, bro. Okay, back off.
There we go.
No,
Got the RTX in there too.
I don't think you built that though, right? You bought that from like Walmart, right?
No, did not buy that from Walmart.
I'm joking. Yeah, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say about Apple. The phones, like, I will say, because I started off an Android and was a big like component, and I loved Android from the beginning. It's just that the phones were so buggy, and they're still working a lot of things out in the beginning. Obviously, it's like a lot better now, but I switched over to Apple like somewhere in between like Apple, I think iPhone 7 or 6 or something like that, and I just haven't switched off because their phones are really consistent. So I will say, like, you could, have this
Mm.
phone for years, and it's still going to get the job done. It's not going to get buggy unless Apple, does some crazy. They
Unless
don't.
Apple decides to kill it simply
Right,
design a new
right.
product.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I actually haven't had a problem with that, personally. But still, their phones are like super reliable, and that's, as a content creator, that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, there's pros and cons in, Android. It's a freer ecosystem, and but at the same time, it's kind of monopolized by Google and Google Pay, all that stuff. So Google Store. Chris apparently, we'll wait on him to come back, but these guys have become close. So yeah, yeah. After staying at Jeff's house, and I mean, for the better part of, I think, like 2 years, I've gotten to get to know Chris. So let's see here. He knows how to come back. So yeah, we got rugged by Chris. Let's so let's get to the comments here. Do a short video series. Do you like my jacket? Know what it means? Nice. These guys have rugged. So I feel about VeVe merch. Yeah, yeah, VeVe merch would be nice, like official VeVe merch, and like, or maybe some community member does like Omi Burns or something. Like 10% goes to Omi Burns. That would be nice. VeVe Avatar says legends. Hey, appreciate you. New iPhones fell off heavily. Yeah, I actually have the iPhone 14, I think Pro, and it runs pretty well. So this is what I'm shooting off right now, is the iPhone 14 Pro, and I will say the camera is really good, and it has like, I don't know how many cameras, but the field of view is really good, and it like automatically switches back and forth for depth of view, so it does work really well. You know, Apple's like obviously like one of the, mm, you know, I guess the worth the most in the world. So hopefully they'll be able to continue to put out new phones, but hopefully, I don't know. I'm a big fan of competition, so I don't know if that's going to be like, we'll see like Elon Musk phone eventually, or some kind of competitor. I know that Solana's trying to do a phone right now. Typically, in the past, those haven't been. Yeah, Chris rugged us. He's in the chat, live rugging us. So we got a live rug pull, as non fungible wonderful would say. Chris, you have the link. You know how to join back. So, but I guess I think he's roasting coffee right now, so he's probably doing that. So, but yeah, like, in the past, I've seen crypto phones do pretty terrible, but maybe these times are different. Maybe there's more crypto bros and crypto gals in the market looking for a phone now, especially with the way Apple's being. So I could see that being a positive for up and coming crypto phones. And personally, if there's a good phone that's good at creating quality content, has camera, I could see myself switching over. Apple is simpler, but simplicity a bad thing, especially with them trying to build their own thing with crypto, for example. If they do it, they'll outcast everyone. That's a good point. It seems like the more and more as time goes on, the more and more monopolistic Apple becomes. And I get it, because they're in like this tech war and race against like Meta and Samsung, and like all, even Niantic now, and some other companies. So I get why they're trying to absorb as much market share as possible for the long term race. Even Tesla and like everything they're doing, that's a competitor of theirs technically as well too. Is And Google, of course. So I get it. I get why they're doing things, but it still doesn't make, it makes for the end user experience not good. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. All right, so we got the poll in. Will the account merge affect the market? So 88% of everyone said downwards. So while people are, I think it was like 90% plus said that they were excited about crypto paying, 80 around 90% said, and this is only 8 votes, mind you. So last vote we had like over 20 or 30 or maybe more. So 8 of you voted so far, and people think it's going to go downwards. So I'm going to keep that poll up just for a little bit longer for everybody to vote. So be sure to do that so we can get more of an accurate like poll sample size. Um, and then, yeah, if with the Apple issues, let me know in the comments. Do you think this will affect VeVe at all in terms of what Apple is doing in terms of gas fees? Obviously, we're on Immutable X. I don't think this does. I think this is negligible. I think it's going to keep calm and carry on type of situation. I think Tesla will come to VeVe. Will they develop their own phones? Yeah, I think Tesla will come to VeVe. I mean, we're talking about Lamborghini, the cream of the crop of car brands, basically. I mean, that's like obviously subjective. Like if you're a Mustang guy, you're gonna like Ford. If you're, Ferrari, blah 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 blah. But yeah, like in terms of luxury, Lamborghini is obviously what comes to mind in terms of cars and automobiles. So I could see Tesla taking notice that if they do drop a NFT, that they would go with VeVe, looking at the market data, as we know that Lamborghini has been on NFT Pro, I think it was, and they didn't do so hot over there, and they weren't augmented reality NFTs either. So I don't know if Lamborghini is just diversifying, or they see that VeVe is doing so well, so they added themselves, or into the VeVe ecosystem. But yeah, I could see Tesla definitely joining the VeVe app just for all the reasons I just listed right there. In my opinion, I think it's better to drop on VeVe first before you decide to do your own drop. These like siloed off. I guess Chris is unrugging us. So we're waiting on Chris to come back. He's unrugging us.
Hey,
Hey, what happened? What happened?
the hospital called me. I have a procedure tomorrow, and it was
Oh,
important.
are you gonna get your bladder? Is it? You gonna get that
Yeah,
ripped out?
get it sucked out of my belly button, bro.
What? Like Men in
Yeah.
Black style, or like Matrix? I mean,
Nah, they just do like a little slit, like arthroscopic, and yeah, yank that sucker out of there, man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
When gallbladder NFT?
or I'll take a picture of it, and you can buy it for 1 E
Yeah.
or like monthly
Well,
roaming, whatever you want to do.
yeah. If you want to support Chris, you can go to, was it hiddengrounds.com to buy your coffee? Is that your website?
HiddenGroundsLA.com. Yeah,
LA. Okay.
LA.com. Yeah, if you actually buy something that's more than one bag, I was gonna say earlier, it's a Chris VV at checkout for free shipping.
Okay. Chris Vivi for free
Yeah,
shipping. All right.
just
Sounds
just for just for this video, and then for the other video that I did yesterday.
okay. Sounds good, man.
So
So yeah, if you want to
yeah,
support Chris and everything he's doing, be sure to go to hiddengroundsla.com and enter Chris Vivi for free shipping for
free shipping.
some coffee beans that Chris roasts personally,
Yeah, man.
um, and out of his machine. If you haven't seen it, it's really cool. I've actually I'm not familiar with like the coffee machinery, but I always
Hmm.
find like stuff like that fascinating. I've always been big into like how it works. Those shows
Yeah.
where it shows like the whole process, like A to B or A to Z, and
Hmm.
just seeing that's really cool. It gets my brain going. I'm like, ooh,
It's fun, man. Yeah, it's a lot of people haven't seen it. Like, have you ever seen like green coffee in your life? Like, coffee is like hard, like dense, like almost like rocks, like before it's roasted.
no, I haven't seen it before. I've seen those like, well, isn't there like coffee beans that an animal poops out that people drink?
Yeah, yeah, that's a
Have you
thing.
had
Yeah,
that? Have you had that before?
yeah, I've had it.
Is it good?
It's anticlimactic. I'm sure they like clean the heck out of it, and it tastes pretty normal.
Do you have that coffee for sale at your?
No, I roast good coffee. I
All
don't
right,
roast
sorry, we had to
shit.
get into that. I hear it's a like a luxury basically,
Yeah,
because I don't know why that process is something to do with stomach acids, like helps cure the beans. I don't know how it works, but
yeah, I don't either.
cool. Well, that's really all we had to talk about today. I know you had to like get back to roasting coffee beans, as a matter of fact. Speaking of
Yeah,
which, is there
yeah, man.
anything, any topics you wanted to hit on the head, or is what you're seeing out there in the macro, or anything like that you can think of?
I'm personally excited for the merge. I got a few things I have my eyes on, and I think that it's going to possibly have a negative impact on the market. I mean, I've seen it firsthand from some people, so it's almost like a matter of how fast you are. Like, maybe if it is bullish and it goes up, but either way, there's at some point gonna be deals. Um, Crypto paying, I think, is a good thing long term. I don't think it's gonna be, like, huge right now, but if VeVe can set all these things in place, before, like, the next run, I think that'd be great. Yeah. So as far as what we touched on, and then, yeah, Apple's a monopoly. They'll try to launch their own wallet, you know? I guess trying to have the alpha on that and be early on that and see how you can make money on that, it's gonna be good.
Do you think any of these companies will try to create their own tokens? I don't see Apple doing it, but do you see Twitter?
Obviously, it's gonna be a matter of, like, what the SEC, like, deems as a security, but I think the SEC is going to be a little bit lighter than people think personally, and I've heard that from pretty good sources. At least as far as like ApeCoin is goes, because like ApeCoin's under investigation, which is Hugo Labs or Bored Ape Yacht Club. They're like native token. Um, they have good lawyers, and I really think it's just a matter of where's our cut and making sure you're not doing very unethical things. So it might be a few years, but it's possible. And then it's also like why, like why won't they just use Matic or like Immutable or like these other tokens, already that have like these huge supplies or extended supplies. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely think it's gonna be possible for them to launch their own tokens. It just depends on regulation.
Yeah, I think that most companies should just approach it like at least maybe get the infrastructure down. I don't know if they do their own tokens, but I could see Twitter maybe doing like what Twitch kind of does with the stars or whatever.
Hmm.
I think that would be cool. I mean, we've seen Elon talk a lot about like the content creator side of things, so it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting. I think there's already an option you can technically tip with Bitcoin. Is that right
Hmm.
on Twitter?
Yeah, yeah, you can enable the tipping, and he's already alluded to like basically exactly what you said, like with TikTok, like having their own system of like rewarding creators, for that. But with Elon being in charge of Twitter, I think monetization is a big deal, and I definitely think like if possible, like we're gonna see crypto on Twitter a lot more.
I agree. I think we will too. And just as Twitter's token is Doge. I mean, it could be. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he'll add that to like the tipping side at first, and then we'll see further integration. But it is a platform I'm paying attention to because Elon's obviously innovative. I'm a content creator, so it makes sense to watch closely what he's doing. And I
Hmm.
think they'll continue to innovate for sure, like NFTs and on the crypto side. But
Yeah, for
man,
sure.
it was good to have you on,
Yeah,
and
hey, thanks for having me. Sorry, I got
this
rushed,
was the
but
first.
my pleasure.
Yeah, you rugged us on our first, go live together, and no, it's all good. No, good luck to you tomorrow in your surgery, man, and hope you heal up well. And we all wish you
Thank you.
well, and
Appreciate it.
hope for a speedy recovery. And don't
Yeah,
forget to
man.
buy those beans, everybody.
Yeah,
Uh,
get back out here and get roasting them.
but that's all I got. Is there any last words?
No, thanks for having me. Sorry again for I was waiting on that call for 3 days, and I just happened to get it during this like 30-minute slot.
Yeah. Well, sounds good,
So
man. Be like an NFT, be authentic, and we will catch you guys later. Hit the like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content and you don't want to miss other streams like this. And we will see you later if I can figure out how to do. Great seeing you guys, says Jeff. Do a coming out of anesthesia video.
oh, that'd be fun. That'd be
Uh,
fun.
actually, okay, so I think I know how to go exit the stream. So, yeah, be like an NFT, be authentic. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.